The language of deceit. Notes and extracts. What Alice learned when she fell down the rabbit hole. Any worthwhile system of education will lay out the interconnected and crisscrossing links between commerce, the media, money, control, debt, slavery, liberty, and ideas. Students must be aware of the work, published and unpublished, accessible and inaccessible, of the larger universities, and in turn the links between those institutions and the bodies of government and associated lobbying groups. This includes the effects of research on funding and vice versa, and the application of research data as a force for change. Such change can be seen applied in the work of the visible and invisible institutions that often just appear as footnotes or are only recognized through symbols. One could do worse than begin to know at least a little about the Rand Corporation, the Tavistock Institute, the Frankfurt Institute, the Royal Societies and Colleges, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and the Council of Rome. You could furthermore add to this list the World Economic Forum, or the International Monetary Fund, or the endless list of public and private banks, brokerages, insurance agencies, and building societies that extend their financial chains to encompass the four corners of the world and beyond. There are deeply invested networks of bloodlines and interrelated families of both old and new money, involved in local and global cartels that inevitably dictate or at least influence all governance policies on a daily basis. Although so much distraction exists through the gamification of society, with hits, views, likes, leagues, and social scores, that most individuals never find anything of real enlightenment on their immediate radar of relevant value. Land and resources are regularly managed and mismanaged by environmental and wildlife organizations, charities, foundations, commissions, non-profits, and non-governmental organizations. Most war is for territory. Perception is altered with regularity by religions, churches, round tables, business chambers, intelligence networks, and a stew of alphabet soup agencies. Police forces and private security details, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and militia and marine units manage and corral people into certain behaviors and responses through legalities that are, in the most part, unlawful. Import and export companies and transportation industries control trade and supply and demand. Dry academies of academiotics, lobby groups, media outlets, TV, radio, internet, film, music, magazines, newspapers, comics, newsletters, chats, blogs, forums, podcasts, and console games all remind us of the correct reply or reaction. The social media scoring platforms have the power to direct activity and delete inconvenient history. The big tech companies collect all our personal data, our plans, our thoughts, our dreams, and sell them to the highest bidder. Universities collectivize learning with scholarships and grants, while the student bodies, the unions, the model societies and fraternities shape our social habits and life choices. The World Oversight Body of the United Nations gives us our causes and concerns. The all-powerful, unquestionable World Health Organization and their well-funded subsidiary pharmaceutical producers and distributors control our functionality and emotional self. Doctors doctor and nurses nurse. Hospitals are never quite as hospitable as they could be or should be. Wards become simply an extension of the properties of the state. Prisons remind us of risk and reward and punishment. Institutes and committees of care are numerous and look after the elderly and sick for us. Life sciences compartmentalize our compression of value, often by distancing one group of society from another. Cult and occult societies and clubs provide socialization and a feeling of belonging. Then there are the law societies and the private courts, and the hedge funds and dead entity multinational corporations interested in influence through control of profits and bottom lines. Trusts exist to be trusted. It's a perfect system where managers manage, teachers teach, drivers drive, bankers bank, police police, bakers bake, actors act, and accountants count. You have to marvel at the twisted genius of it all. But ask yourself, how would one know if there were puppet masters in the shadows if one had never looked? There's always more. Many books or bodies of work have been written that you will not find in public libraries. Much of history has been purposely ruined or destroyed. The real search begins when you comprehend the responsibility inherited with the knowledge and the understanding that it is progressively difficult to unlearn. The language of deceit. Notes and extracts.